Hi, I'm Esty Kaplan, independent scholar and freelance academic copy editor based in Santa Barbara, California.
And I'm Sarah Wilma Watson, a visiting assistant professor of English at Haverford College in just outside of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania.
And we are the creators of Books of Duchesses, a born digital humanities project mapping women and their books in the Middle Ages.
And this is part of a series of videos on how to contribute to Books of Duchesses as a guest editor. We hope you enjoy it.
In this video, we're going to learn how to add an extant book, that is to say, a book that still exists, into the Books of Duchesses database. So from the back end of Django, we're going to go into Books. And the first thing that we're going to do is search for our manuscript to make sure that it is not already in the database. So today I'm going to be entering BNF Français 418, which as we can see is not already present. So I will click on Add Book. And the shelf mark goes up here. The About content. So because this is a French manuscript, it is going to be in a database that I use a lot, Jonas IRHT, which is here. So I'm going to go and search by manuscript, Paris, 418. So I check Jonas to see what they have as the contents of this manuscript. And I am going to verify it, but this is a very helpful place to start. So according to Jonas, the only text in this manuscript is the Vie et Enseignement de Saint Jérôme. So that's what I type into the About/Content box. And then in the texts, I type that again. And there's the same text. Enter, and now those two are attached. So this is a manuscript. Does it have an ex libris? So now I'm going to go to the BNF collections. This is in the Department of Manuscripts. This is in their French manuscripts, Français. And I will click on 418. So this is the digital catalog. So the first thing that I do is copy this URL and put that into the catalog entry. Both the BNF site and Jonas give beginning of the 16th century. However, Jonas is slightly more precise, pre-1522. And I happen to know that the arms that we're going to find on this manuscript are in diamond form, which is a widow's form of arms. And the woman who owned this manuscript, Anne of France, became a widow in 1503. So in all likelihood, this manuscript dates to between 1503 and 1522. So returning to this page, we'll then go to the digitized version that exists. And again, the first thing that we do is copy this URL and put that into the digital version box. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at the manuscript itself and see if there is an ex libris. There doesn't seem to be anything on the first set of pages, so we'll skip to the end, which is the other place that ex libris tend to be. Oops. And a quick glance seems to say that there is not an ex libris in this book. So we'll leave the ex libris box blank. Form and format are more critical for non-extant manuscripts. However, we can put a little bit of basic information in here. So this is on parchment. It is illuminated. And it is all in one column, so we're not going to specify the number of columns. Scribes, as you can see, a list will come up, and if your manuscript has a known scribe, you can start typing their name in. If they are not already present, you'll click on the plus sign and you'll add them in here. You'll click save and you'll return. Since I don't seem to have a scribe for this manuscript, I'm going to X out. The same is true for illuminators. But this manuscript does not seem to have an illuminator specified either here or in Jonas. Printer information is only appropriate for print books. Book location, ownership information, history, and bibliography, we will come back to in a second. Before we go any further, we're going to save and continue editing. This is crucial before you attempt to put in book location or ownership information history. So we save and continue editing. So now we can put in ownership information history. So the book owned is BNF Français 418. You have to hit enter. Date owned, post 1503 to 1522. Book owner, click. I start typing her name. There she is, Anne of France. I hit enter again to confirm that that is her. And ownership type, in this case, we have confirmed coat of arms. So we click on that and we save. So now this book has ownership information and history attached to it. I also know that this book is mentioned by Le Coin 2007 because I've already gone and done the research on this book, so I'm going to click on that there. If you are entering a work that is associated with a bibliography, with a reference that is not already present, you can click on the plus button and add that reference in, or you can check out the video on easy entries, which includes information on how to add a bibliography reference. The last thing that I'm going to add in is book location. So I know that this book was present in the Moulin inventory of 1523. So I'm going to click on the plus to add a new location, and you must click on that plus sign to add a new location every time. I'm going to type in Moulin, and notice that I do not click on the map once it has loaded. Book location, Moulin. Date of the inventory is 19 September 1523. Please note that the day comes before the month comes before the year. If you want to put in a date range, use a hyphen to connect the two. Do not put in vague dates if at all possible. If you can narrow it down to the month and year at the very least, that is what we're looking for. Book shelf mark. So this is a drop-down menu, but the easiest way to get to the manuscript you want is simply to type in the shelf mark as you've just entered it. So here, BNF Français 418, and owner at the time, in this case, it was actually Francis I of France. So I hit enter to confirm that that is him. I hit save, and I leave this as unreviewed because I'm going to want to double check that at a later date. And you as a guest editor are going to leave that as unreviewed so that myself or Dr. Watson can come back and review that at a later date. If you as a guest editor have any information that you want to add, it can go into the user suggestion comment box here. Now we hit save, and voila, BNF Français 418 exists in the database. Now, the last step of this is to go to the owner page to bring up the woman associated with this book. Oops. English versions here. So Anne of France, Duchess of Bourbon. I scroll down to her instances of book ownership. And all the way at the bottom here, I click and I type 418. I click on this reference to add it, and then I save. This is a very important step because any new book you add will not be attached to any woman at all until you have added it to her owner profile. So the last thing that I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to return to BNF Français 418, because looking at the description on the BNF site, there's actually a second text in there, the Exposition de l'Oraison Dominicale. So I'm going to go back in and add that new text, but you don't need to watch me do that because you can go ahead and watch the video on how to add a text, which is also available on our YouTube channel. We hope you have enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to email us at booksofduchesses@gmail.com.